today's subject is operative delivery. Operative delivery is that sometimes we use instruments to deliver the baby in some conditions like forceps and ventouse, and sometimes we use an operation to deliver the baby like in cesarean section. Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about forceps, and the second videos I'm going to talk about ventouse and cesarean section. Let's start with the forceps. What is forceps? It is an instrumental designed to provide rotation and traction on fetal head. Okay, so two things are done in forceps: rotation and traction. Okay, sometimes we do rotation, sometimes traction, and both of them. Okay, when expulsive efforts of the mother are insufficient. In a minute I'm going to talk about the indications of forceps using. Okay, but it is in general when expulsive efforts of the mother are insufficient to accomplish safe delivery. Okay, she can't push enough to deliver the baby, so we use the forceps just to track the baby and sometimes to rotate the baby. Okay, so of the mother. This is the definition of the forceps. What are the types of forceps? The types of forceps depends on the station of the baby. Okay, on the position of the baby station. How does that happen? Is we have the most common forceps to be used is the outlet forceps. Okay, and we have low forceps, mid forceps, and some books says that we have high forceps. Okay, the most common is the outlet. What do we mean by the outlet forceps? The outlet forceps is when the scalp is seen at the introitus without separating the labia. So the scalp is very descent. It is on advanced station that we can see the scalp on the introitus, and the skull is at pelvic floor. Okay, the skull is resting on the pelvic floor, so we use the outlet forceps. And nowadays it is not just the most used. In some countries it is the only use because of the dangerosity or the complications of the low and mid and high forceps. What is the low forceps? It is when the leading part of the fetus, okay, the skull, is at station +2 or more, so it is less stated than the outlet forceps. Okay, +2 or more station, we use the low forceps, because the name low because the presenting part of the baby is low. Okay, more than +2 station. The mid forceps and is when the leading part is above a +2 station, maybe +1, okay, or 0. So it is when above a +2 station. When the head is not engaged, sometimes the high forceps is used. Now it is not more used. Okay, not used anymore. What are the indications to use of the forceps? We said when the mother expulsive efforts is not enough to push the baby. Okay, so now let's just arrange that. We use forceps if we have fetal and maternal distress. Fetal and maternal distress. What do we mean by fetal distress? CTG or other signs of fetal distress. Okay, maternal distress is like when we have a pulmonary problem in the mother, CVS problem, okay, and other maternal serious problems like hypertension, for example, that cause the mother to be unable to push adequately. So why doesn't the mother can push? Okay, because she has a pulmonary problem, CVS problem, or other problems, maternal distress, okay, that prevents her from pushing the baby. So this is the first indication. Okay, fetal or maternal distress. Second is delay in the second stage. Delay in the second stage. What do we mean by delay in the second stage? It is more than 2 hours for an anesthetic patient to start the second stage, okay, or to finish the second stage, and more than 3 hours if the patient is anesthetized. Okay, so more than 2 hours if the patient is anesthetized, and more than 3 hours if she is anesthetized. Okay, and this is for a primary para, but for multiparas patient it is more than 1 hour, because should have less time to accomplish the second stage in the multi-para zone. So it is more than 1 hour if the patient is unanesthetized, and 2 hours if the patient is anesthetized. Okay, and this is in the multi-para. In the primipara, more than 2 hours and 3 hours. Okay, so this is the delay in the second stage, the definition. What are the contraindications of operative forceps delivery if we have no expert? Because an expert it shouldn't be done with a doctor with no experience, because it's a dangerous procedure and should be expert, okay, to do it. If you have no expert, then no forceps. Okay, cephalopathy of the patient, skull fracture or any hydrocaph, for example, any cephalopathy is a contraindication of forceps usage. Okay, unknown presentation should be known. If we were not able to know the presentation, then we can't apply forceps. Incomplete dilatation of the cervix should be dilated. These are absolute contraindications to use forceps. Okay, but we have some relatives contraindications, like for example osteoporosis, okay, some carcinomas, suspected bleeding of the head, for example bleeding tendency in the patient or in the baby, babies with HIV and hepatitis B infections. We may not do forceps for the benefit of the doctor, so these are relative contraindicated. Now for the most important thing about this subject, the requirements of instrumental delivery. The requirements of when can we apply instrumental delivery? We should have some requirements. Okay, first, for the doctor should be expert. I have mentioned that. Then we have to have adequate pelvic. Okay, just that. Okay, adequate pelvic. What do we mean by adequate pelvic? We have head pelvic proportion. Okay, so expert and adequate pelvic. We should have rupture of membrane. I'm just saying that them in order. Okay, rupture of membrane. Then the cervix should be dilated. Okay, the head should be engaged most of the times. Okay, the position should be known to the baby, and finally the bladder should be empty. So adequate pelvic, so that you can use the forceps without injuries. Rupture of membrane, cervical dilatation, head engaged, known position, empty bladder. These are all requirements of instrumental delivery. You can't deliver the baby without these things. Okay, experiment also. Enough anesthesia. Actually, I left this to the last because some books doesn't mention enough anesthesia. Okay, but some books do mention them. Okay, so rupture membrane, cervical dilatation, head engaged, known position, empty bladder. They are all indication requirements for instrumental delivery. Don't forget this because it's very important. Okay, other types of instrumental delivery, the names of the forceps that are applied. First one is Keyland. It is a rotational and tractional forceps. I said that we have two functions of the forceps: tract and to rotate. Okay, Keyland is both rotational and tractional forceps. Simpson is just only tractional forceps. Okay, we have Piper forceps after coming head of breech baby. What do we mean by after coming head? Some cases we have breech presentation, the breech of the baby is delivered, then we want to deliver the head of the baby, and we sometimes ought to use forceps. For example, we use the Piper, and this is a graph of Piper. This is a Piper forceps, and this is head after breech presentation. Okay, so this is a Piper forceps, and we have also a Parton forceps for occipit transverse presentation. Occipit transverse. I want to show you some photo on these. Okay. Oh no. This is Simpson. This is Keeland, and this is Piper. Simpson, Keeland, Piper from other point of view. Okay, another graph just to. Yes. Okay. Simpson, Keeland, and Keeland is the other type. Okay, you should not know that. You can know or not. It's not that important for this stage. Yeah, I would just want to talk to you about the parts of these forceps. We call this the lock of forceps. This is the chunk of forceps. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the handle of forceps. This is the lock of forceps. This is the chunk of forceps, and this is the blades from where we catch the head of the baby. Okay. Blade, chunk, lock, and handle. This is all about forceps. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video talking about the ventose and the cesarean section.